Hi friends, this is Alex. Welcome back to my channel. Today I have for you a dip mani featuring Delumars. I'm going to be using Burst Your Bubble, which is this gorgeous flaky foily dip that really just is one of those standalone ones, and I was debating on what I wanted to pair it with, and I decided nope, it's going to be on all 5 fingers. I love it that much. I'm also going to be using Delumars liquids and peel base today. I usually apply about 2 coats of this peel base. It's one of my favorite peel bases. It has a very quick drying time, which is important to me because I'm very impatient when it comes to peel base drying. So I'm like, it has to be fast. So I apply 2 coats, but I'm usually wanting my nails to come off within a couple of days because I change my nails that often. If you want your nails to stay on a little bit longer, I would suggest doing 1 coat or even like a stripe down the middle or a dot, so you're not touching your sidewalls. And once all my layers are dry, then we are ready to dip. Okay, we're ready to start dipping. Yay! Now, I do a thin layer of base. You don't want to put too much product up there because if you do, it can cause clumping and other issues, and you definitely want a nice smooth dip. So less is more when it comes to that first one especially. And then I'm going to go with my precision tool just around my cuticle line to clean up any of that excess product that could possibly be in there. It definitely makes cleaning up your cuticles and filing your cuticles a lot easier when you're all done and at that point. Another way to do that though, if you don't have a precision tool, is to use an orange stick. I've done both and it works just as well. My preference is the precision tool, of course, but there's nothing wrong with using an orange stick if you're more comfortable with that or if that's just what you have. And then I like to go ahead whenever I'm doing glitter, I kind of pat down the glitter a little bit, especially with a dip like this that it's mostly like flakes and foils, so it just helps you just squish it down. It'll help when you're encapsulating and filing later. But I'm going to go ahead and let you guys watch me go through this first one, and I will be back with you later. Okay, now that we're all done with that first dip, we can go and grab our stiff nail brush and get off all that excess powder and any loose foils, flakes, anything that is not stuck on there. Make sure that your base and your powder have kind of set before you do this, because if you use that stiff nail brush and it's still kind of wet, then you're going to put little grooves in what you just dipped. And it's not the end of the world, you can fix this. I usually, I'll do another layer and then you can't see those at all, or you can buff them out, but it's just a habit that I've gotten into. I always test with my fingers just to make sure that everything is dry and ready. And then now that that is done, I'm ready for my second layer. I decided to do 2 layers. Felt like it needed just a little bit more. Like in the end, like I love the look that comes out. You get this really pretty, it's like stained glass kind of look, and I wanted that. Like I wanted you to be able to see through it, but at the same time, I still wanted a fair amount of these really beautiful like rainbow flakes that you will see shortly. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys watch me get through this second dip, and I will see you guys soon. With our dipping done and me finishing up brushing off that last bit of excess powder, it is time to encapsulate. I'm using Delumars glass, and I love this glass. It's very clear, no cloudiness, which is a huge thing, especially whenever you're working with glitter. I would tell you guys a funny story. For the longest time, I kind of resisted the buying the big jar, pouring it into the little jar. I was like, I just use it for glitters. I don't, it's fine. But I felt like my clears kept getting contaminated. So after a while, I was like, okay, nope, I need to do this. I need to jump on this train and make sure I am, doing everything I can for the best mani possible. So I got the giant jar and I have been pouring it into my old glass jar, and it's been great, actually. I haven't had hardly any contamination besides a few loose glitters. They get in there, and my manis are coming out nice and clear, so that is always a great thing. But yeah, definitely a great, if you're looking for a great clear, this is high up on my list. It works so well, and encapsulating those glitters and just making them shine. Okay, now that we are finished up dipping our glass, here comes the super important part. Grabbing that stiff brush again and just brushing, getting all that excess powder off. When I first started dipping, and I immediately gravitated towards glitters because I love glitters. I'm a glitter fan, and I was having such a hard time with cloudiness, with bubbles. I was like, what is going on? What is happening? In the beginning too, like, it was a process to do a mani, and then this was before I discovered peel base as well, so it wasn't just gonna come off, it was a process. And I also was not using builder gel yet, so all of these things, and I'm like, you do all this and it comes out cloudy or bubbly, and it was very devastating. So I actually went on YouTube. And I looked up how to make sure your glitters stay clear, and I ended up watching a video that Mayonnaise by Taylor. Taylor from Mayonnaise by Taylor did, and that was her secret. She's like, you can't just dust it with a regular brush. You have to use that stiff brush. And oh my God, it was one of the most, I'd say, important pieces of advice I received. So if you're new to dipping and you love glitter, this is something you definitely need to get a stiff brush. And after you're done encapsulating, and between your layers too, if you do more than one clear layer, brush that off. All right, I'm done now. Anyways, after all that stiff brushing happens, you activate and let that dry for a couple of minutes, and then you are ready to file. Now I'm using my favorite files. The first one that you're seeing right here, that's my Makartt 100-180 grit file. That's my heavy lifting file. It does all of my major shaping and smoothing out. Love this file. You will also see me using my Pampered Pretties sponge file, which is fantastic. I mean, it just gets everything so smooth, perfect finishing touch. I also grabbed my adorable little pink new buffer blocks that we have and my trusty purple buffing block. I use these basically with every mani that I do, and I'm pretty much let's see, what's the word? I'm kind of anal about filing. I'm very specific about my shape, so filing is super important to me. I feel like throughout the whole process, that is probably what takes me the longest, but it's worth it. You know, the results are worth it. So I'm gonna go ahead and let you guys watch me file for a little while, and I will be back with you soon. Okay, now that we are finishing up all of our buffing and those final touches, it is time to go rinse. Now I cut that out, obviously I can't take you guys with me when I rinse my hands, but I go and I rinse my hands with warm water, I dry them with a paper towel, and then I grab my amazing glass cuticle pusher and I just go around my edges and make sure there is nothing in there that needs to come out. Once that is done, it is time to activate again. So I get this on all the nails, and then I usually let this activating layer dry for about a minute, and then I grab my lint-free wipes and just rub the nail down really well, get in the cuticle area, the side walls, all of that. Try to get up any kind of excess activator so my brush doesn't seize up on me. Now I always have backup brushes just in case, because sometimes it happens. It's one of those things. So I have a backup brush in case it does happen. And then also I found, like, if your brush does harden and you're able to finish your mani, you can just put that brush right back in that top coat and it's all better by the next time you use it, which is great. I do my first layer of top coat with like 3 quick swipes, not paying attention to, you know, doing the all over nail or anything like that, just 3 quick swipes. And then I let that dry for a second, and then I go right behind with my final layer of top coat, which then I'm being very careful. I'm making sure that I'm getting it all around the nail, it's covering everywhere, but not flooding my cuticles. Okay, as I finish up this final layer of top coat, I'm going to let this dry for about 30 seconds to a minute before I start testing it with my other nails. This top coat from Delumars is actually very fast drying. Pretty sure like I could time it one of these days. I probably will. It doesn't even take a minute. It's just so fast, and then it's perfect and shiny and wonderful. So now that we're done with that, we are ready for cuticle oil. I am using Scales of a Mermaid, just Peachy Bitch again. And you're going to see this in a lot of my videos. It's one of my favorite cuticle oils from this company. Super important to moisturize, especially if you're changing your nails very often, which I am. I'm a big advocate for lotion and cuticle oil. Okay, here it is, final product. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today and watching me go through my mani process. If you liked what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe, and stay tuned for the next mani. Have a great one.